All right, guys, what is going on today? We're going to be talking all about, you guessed it, hair systems. We're going to be talking about the top 8 things not to do when you get a hair system. This video is sponsored by Lord Hair. They asked me to make this video because they get a lot of questions about what not to do when you first get a hair system from first-time wearers. So I thought this would be a great video to kind of go through some of the things that I see both in actually the mental and like the actual physical application of wearing a hair system. So let's just jump right into it, shall we? So number 1 is do not go into wearing a hair system with a completely shaved head. Now, a lot of people start wearing hair systems when their hair loss is severe, and a lot of times people are completely shaving their head. They're bald at this point, and they decide to get a hair system and they apply it onto their head and they try it out, and it's just not a great look. Now, the reason to not do this is because a hair system really is at its best when it's blended into your natural hair. Otherwise, it just looks kind of off a little bit. It's also significantly harder to maintain a quality look because you're dealing with every single part of your hair system being exposed. There's no part of your hair system that can blend in with your natural hair, so it can be even more problematic to really get a quality look. So if you are getting your hair system for the first time, what I do recommend is that you grow all of your hair out for a couple months. 2 to 3 is really ideal. You can keep that hair system in the box, kind of try it on as your hair is growing, but do yourself a favor, let your hair grow out so that way you have some hair to blend it into when you do get it cut in. Number 2, don't get your hair system tangled or don't get it filled with glue. One of the biggest problems I find that people have when they're wearing a hair system is that the hair is getting tangled, and it can happen because of 2 reasons. 1, the glue, the adhesive that you're using leaking out and seeping into the hair if you don't know what you're doing. Or number 2, it can come from improper maintenance of your hair. Now, once your hair starts to get very, very tangled or there's adhesive in it, it can be pretty problematic to sort out. It can be so frustrating to have your hair system just tangled or matted, and this is not something that you want to deal with. So what I recommend you do when you first get your hair system is start brushing it every single day, getting the tangles out. If you're dealing with adhesive getting into your hair, you can solve this. It's not a great thing to do for your hair system, but you can get it out with Dawn dish detergent soap. This will dissolve some of the adhesive. You can use a rat tail comb, a fine comb, to get some of that adhesive out of the hair. But keep in mind, Dawn is going to dry out your hair significantly. It's not something I recommend you use a lot. Number 3, don't go super short with your hairstyle. Now, hair systems look really good when they get about, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch to more long on top of someone's head. When it is very, very short, it might not match correctly with your bio hair. There are some people that can pull it off. There are some people that have done it. Check out Dave's hair system if you want to check out his channel. He wears his hair system very, very short. But what I recommend is a slightly longer style to get used to it. This doesn't mean a big pompadour. It means something that is kind of discreet, something that is tasteful, something that's like a humble hairstyle. Not tons of volume, not super polished, just something that an ordinary dude would have when they have their natural hair. Number 4, don't wait until you're super bald to get a hair system. A lot of guys are getting into hair systems now, and they got to contend with this massive transition where they go from being, pretty severely balding to having hair again. And it can be a startling shock. It's one of the main reasons that holds people back from wearing hair systems, is because they're like, how do I transition to wearing this hair system? How do I go from having no hair to lots of hair? So if you are in the early phases of your hair loss journey and you're like, I'm not gonna do a transplant, I'm not gonna do medications and try these things, go for a hair system sooner than later. You can even do things like partials, like we talked about in our last video, as a way to kind of get into hair systems a little bit earlier than you need. You don't need a full one to start, and it makes the transition way, way easier. Now, number 5 is don't make any excuses. When you're looking into getting a hair system, there's a million reasons to not try getting a hair system. There's, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if I can't do this? What if I don't know how to do that? There's going to be those things that occur in everything in life, and definitely with a hair system. These are things that are holding you back from potentially getting what you want out of life. It's something that you have to mentally get past and just decide, I'm going to conquer this once and for all. I'm going to try something different. If you make excuses, it will hold you back for months, for years. There will never be a perfect time for you to get a hair system. There will never be a perfect time that everything is going to work out and you've learned enough and you're confident enough and you're competent enough. You have to dive into it and just trust that you're going to figure it out. You have to trust your ability to learn a new skill. Now, number 6 is the expectation of your first hair system. Don't expect it to last as long as you think it's going to last. A lot of people comment on my videos and message me and they're like, hey Jake, I'm thinking about getting a hair system. Can they really last, 4 months, 6 months, a year? If I get a hair system, will I be good for a year? There are viewers on my channels that have gone 6 months or a year with a hair system. There are a lot of people that resolve to wearing a hair system for about 3 to 4 months. Your first one, what I recommend is that you kind of consider it your test unit, your trial, and it's okay to make mistakes on, and it's okay if it doesn't last that long. Because here's the thing. There's a steep learning curve with hair systems. This is something that is just kind of fact. Almost everybody you can find online will say like, yeah, it's kind of hard at first and I didn't really know what I was doing. You have to learn new maintenance routines for just taking care of your hair, like hair in general. If you've been losing your hair for a while, you probably haven't had to think about it. You probably haven't had to deal with it. So this is going to be new for you. And then there's the hair system stuff on top of it. It takes a while to learn, so expect your first hair system to last you 1 to 2 months. Be okay with that. This isn't going to be forever, but by month like 4 to 6, you're gonna probably start figuring out a lot of stuff, and it's just gonna become a lot more natural for you, and you can start stretching your hair system's longevity out further. Number 7, this one right here is do not just have one system. Now, it's really easy to just get a system, get it on your head and be like, cool, well, I'll just order another one in 3 months, it'll be here exactly when I need my new hair system. Sometimes things happen. Sometimes your hair system rips. Sometimes, I don't know, a bear rips it off your head and you don't have a hair system anymore, and then you're freaking out, man, just like crazy. Things happen when you're wearing a hair system, and it's always a good idea to have another one on hand. If you can have it already pre-cut, if you can have it already cut down to your size, even better, where if something happens and you're just like, oh crap, I need to use that second one, boom, you got it. It'll make you feel way more confident, way more secure than if you have to wait 2 weeks, a month, or longer if you're getting a custom hair system to just get that next one. You might completely shave your head in that meantime. It's just something that you got to contend with. All right, point 8 for you guys is this right here. Do not go with a pompadour or an exposed hairline at first. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't wear your hair kind of side swept like I'm wearing right now. What it means is don't go for this like swept back look where it's just slicked back and the hairline is just boom right out in your face. The reason I'm saying this to you guys is because you're going to be learning things about maintenance. There's going to be days where it feels like your hairline is lifting. There's going to be days where you're figuring out the adhesives. There's just going to be days when you're learning hair systems. There's a steep learning curve. And having some of your hair kind of covering your hairline, and it's going to cover a multitude of hair system sins, if you will. And it's gonna make you feel a little bit more confident, or kind of like you're hiding. Now, when I first started wearing a hair system, there were days where my hairline was lifting and I had my hair kind of down and brushed over, and I was still insecure about the fact that I thought people could see my hairline lifting and that they could see that I was bald. They couldn't, but I was obsessed with it. I can't imagine if it was just a slick back look. I think I probably would have had a heart attack and been like, I can't go out, I can't go and do anything. It's not gonna happen. Sorry, I'm staying in for the next month. So this right here is a way for you to kind of like mentally keep yourself secure and not have to deal with some of the things that might come up when you first get your hair system. Just be okay with kind of like a semi-exposed hairline, something that's more conservative, like maybe a little bit messy up front, or covering the hairline. And I think it's going to work out great for you guys. Now, if you like this video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend, share a friend, I don't know, do something with a friend, go celebrate Hanukkah, Christmas, Thanksgiving, whatever. Anyways, thanks to Lord Hair for sponsoring this video. Appreciate them, appreciate you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you soon.